So, love to go back in time. How was your first deal? How did you find your first deal?
So that's a great question.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. Actually, I was walking my dog down the neighborhood and I noticed a moving truck. And it was actually one of the houses that was probably the more shabby in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And spoke to the person, said, "Hey, are you moving in? You moving out?" And she told me the story about how they were leaving and they needed to sell the house, but were in financial problems. And all of the training and stuff just clicked. So it was honestly, I think we call it walking my dog for dollars. It was a coincidence. It was in the neighborhood that I lived in. And we found the opportunity and we took it from there and closed the deal.
Wow. So, what was the biggest challenge that you had with that particular deal?
Every time we did something for them, they wanted something else. And of course, then we would go back and amend the purchase price and other things. But it was always every time they asked for an inch, they actually wanted a mile. And that became, I think, a big part of the challenge. Then once we actually closed and went to the closing table, and it did close successfully, then it was a completely different animal. Then we actually went and started to do the renovations and building those relationships with the right contracting companies, with all the right resources, all the things you don't even think about, the small details, making sure that utilities don't get shut off, like all of those little tactical things. Just setting all that up took a significant amount of time, more time than I had thought. And
because it's your first deal. So, if you were going to sell this property today, how much money would you make?
Profit right now, probably close to $150,000.
But you have no desire to sell that property. You want to keep it a buy and hold this year.
Absolutely.
What was your aha moment for that particular deal?
I think there was two. It was getting the property under contract and sending it to title and making sure everything that it was a legitimate contract. That was new. Then for me, the second aha moment was on the exit when we had closed on the refinance and I got back a check that was all of what I put into the property on the renovation and then some. So I had literally no money in it. So it's technically an infinite return property. And I said, you know what? I just did it. If I can do it once, I can do it again.